Welcome back to the BidBook video series. Today we'll be talking about how to create and send invitations to bid. Let's take a look at our concept. We want to make a point that invitations to bid can be used in each of the applications for BidBook. Now, we're going to be talking about general contractors sending ITBs to specialty contractors in this particular video. However, the feature functions almost the same in all three applications. Specialty may send a material request for quote out to its subcontractors and get back multiple material quotes. The general contractor may send invitation to bid to a specialty, and owner builders may send invitation to bids directly to specialty and get their answers back, rather than using a general contractor with a request for quote, who then handles all the details of the bids to the specialty contractor. So this concept works across all three applications. Okay. What we're looking at is in our project process, after we've received the bid and it's set up for and been captured, has its information, we're ready to estimate. So we're here at working on the estimate. And how many specialties are required on this project? That's the first question we ask ourselves. Well, in this case, there's three specialties: plumbing, HVAC, and carpentry. And we're generally required to get a minimum of 3 competitive bids, especially if there's any kind of public project. So we're going to have, at minimum, about 9 bids to project and we're to manage, and we're going to select 3 out of those 9 suppliers. Let's see what this looks like in the BidBook application. We're already at a project. We're going to demo ITB create, send, and how those bids look. So in our detail section, we have our key information, close, details. We go all the way down to the quick price estimate. We see we have our estimator assigned. Okay. So once we're ready to estimate, we have an ITB request section. And our ITB status is what runs everything. First, we select which bids we're going to need. So here's our specialty selection: framing, carpenter, drywall, finish out, finish carpenter, plumber. So these are the specialties we've chosen for this particular project. We want 3 competitive bids. We can have more. We could just leave it blank and get however many suppliers are in our database. We're going to define whether our specification is attached or if we're actually going to type our specification directly in to the project record. So if we have a specification, general specification for the ITB, and it's fairly simple, we can type it right in here. A lot of times the ITB specification can be many pages with drawings, so we would attach those and use this for notes. Okay, so we're ready to turn on our status. Of course, this field is hard to find down in the record. Therefore, we can either directly select our value and start the automated routine to match and search for our suppliers to these particular specialties. However, there's an easier way to do it. We do have a button here, Create ITBs. It's going to pop up that same section and have already defined match and create. So all I have to do is hit save, and it's going to update the record to match and create, and therefore fire the ITB creates. So you see them showing up here on an ITB create. All right, now we can view those ITBs, and here we just we just have plumbers in our database. So we got just the plumbers. And let's take a look at one of these. So we've created an invitation to bid to this particular supplier. It's at the create stage. It has a due date from the project, and it's automatically named to whoever the receiver, the project is. And it does not have an amount yet until the supplier responds. They can respond with a comment and an amount, and we're about to send out those emails. So after we review the ITBs of the project and we're happy with what's there. Now, it's important to note, ITBs are so easy to create, we might receive more ITBs than we wish. We say forgot to put in the maximum number of specialties and we have a large number of plumbers in our database, we could get a ITB for every plumber. So if we want to remove some of these, let's go ahead and do this again. We're going to clear it. We have a mass delete here. So if you have too many ITBs on your first round and you haven't sent them yet, just mass delete them and start over. It's so easy to generate these particular ITBs. Once they're deleted, I want to refresh my page, make sure my ITBs are gone, go back, reset my status to blank so that it'll re-trigger when I enter it again. And enter my match and create selection or use the button. Either method works. And save. Now it'll go out and reselect the ITBs based on these parameters. Now when you first look at the record, you may not see the ITBs. You may have to refresh because they've just been created. And then we can see our various ITBs. Now, once they've been created and you've had a chance to review them, we're ready to send them out. Now, there are some considerations here. Either we're going to use this specification or the attachment. And in the ITB record, of course, you can go and update your individual specification data in a description. There is a short comment that you can use to keep your notes about this record or send information directly to, if you want to send information to the supplier itself, it's best to put it in the specification because that will be on the invitation. I think the comment is there too, but the specification is the primary communication vehicle. All right, let's get back to our project. And in our project, we have the ITB status in the ITB send section. And we've matched and created. We know how many we have. We're happy with that. And we're going to send these ITBs. There's a next selection, send all ITBs. Then we'll be waiting for the replies. So we'll be setting up at selection pending while we're in the selection process, deciding who. Once we've decided how many ITBs we're going to select and our due date is passed, we're ready to start selecting. So right now we're going to send all the ITBs by email at once using the project ITB status, send all ITBs. Of course, selecting it here is the same as using the button, which is available in mobile as well. So you can just use your button to send your ITBs, or you can open your record, look at your ITBs, and use the pick list. All right, we're going to send. And the routine takes a look at what ITBs are present. And once I refresh, oh, there it updated the status automatically without having to refresh as soon as the automation completed running. So now all our ITBs are sent, and we're waiting for an amount to come back. all on this particular due date. All right. Let's take a quick look at a record that actually has been responded to. See if we have any. We'll go straight. If we're going to look for records, instead of poke around at projects and look for ITBs, I'm going to go to one. We'll go to the ITB tab. Task files, ITBs. And back into a project that I know has ITBs that have already been selected. So now that I found the project with ITBs that have already had some response to it, and I can show you what that looks like, we go over here to our related list. You can see the statuses, selected, responded, and we've selected these two ITBs, the electrician and the mechanical. So in our process, they've responded, their emails have been captured, the amount has been updated in the ITB as soon as they respond. And then we looked specifically at the ITB records when we're ready and set their status to selected, which causes their total to roll back up to the project. Now you know those specialties that you have selected, that value can be rolled into your amount for the proposal. So that's how we would handle multiple ITBs being requested on a project. Of course, what if there were 6 specialties and you needed more than 3 bids? Because 3 is the minimum competitive bid, but you can get a lot more bids than that. Well, we recommend you get BidBook to handle something like 12, 15, 18 bids per project. Definitely need software. BidBook is going to handle your ITBs. Stay tuned for future BidBook video series. How to.